Okay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna talk myself through what I'm seeing and what I'm going into. I feel like I have to breathe, definitely, right now. I'm seeing darkness. I'm finding the swirling center, the portal that I see. He's here already, and now I am here. And my greetings to you, our sister, and our thanks for the work that you are doing. We are very thankful. Your family is here with you always. And we are all together. Well, I'm back. I was getting a lot of visuals, but again, I didn't know where to go with it. That seems to be one of my blockages and problems. I was seeing gray beings, several of them, and they were behind you. And something moving forward, something bringing something forward, like a small light coming forward like this. And I feel like they were giving that to you. Yeah, I didn't know what to do with that seems to be what's kicking me out is these visuals, which isn't usually something that I encounter, is these different visuals. When earlier I was seeing like a line of what looked like gray people, and they were sticking their tongues out for some reason. And I don't, it's like, and I find myself back in myself again, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with it?
Okay. So I can try to do this. Let me see what happens if I just go inside myself. I'm going to try something because I feel like I need to make some sound, or no sound's going to come, no words are going to come. So I think as a movement of myself into the channeling state, I'm going to invoke a breathing technique like Brahmari. In fact, right now I'm just going to use Brahmari. I might not keep that one, but let me see what happens if I begin to just make a sound and see if any kind of formation of the sounds. Here I go. There is motion. There is motion. There are energy loops. Okay, I'm just flowing inside myself a little bit more now. I'm going to give this minutes. I'm going to take my time. Nothing's here right now. I'm not in the black. There's a lot of light permeating my field, permeating the black, but it's coming from the outside room, not from inside. Now, nobody is speaking through me, but to me. And I'm just hearing the phrase, all one, all at once. All one, all at once. All one, all at once. And we'll see if this wants to come any more forward. I'm going to keep breathing. Just another concept. The concept is infinity loop. So as usual, I can get communication from my inner self, but not the merging, not the merging and coming in to speak of another energy. That is something that just is not happening. I am getting energy flows. I am uncomfortable in my body, almost as always when sitting. When I do this, if I begin doing this, I may have to find a way to recline at a particular angle. So the motion is coming through, the energy flows are coming through, not in the form of words, in the form of energy. I can see the patterns. It's moving just sort of as I am, forward to back in a circle, sort of like a Ferris wheel. I can see that I am hearing the concept infinity loop, all one, all at once, infinity loop, all one, all at once. And so I would call this a synchronizing of our energies. And Lord only knows how long this would be before anything vocal or began coming through. Just a moment, and I'll see if there's anything else here right now, and then I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay. What about, have you thought about maybe chanting the words almost that are coming to you and just repeating? Sometimes singing or something, chanting is another thing that kind of gets that opening. Or
Yeah, I may be able to chant something. I don't know if chanting those words in particular would be that which brought forth the entity. But I do chant. I chant Dom Tarayam Bakam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushtivartanam. Again, these chants are not what I think will bring forward my entity. Perhaps Om, just simply chanting Om. The Om or the Hum would definitely do it. It creates a vibration in my body that disperses my mind into the larger field. Yeah, so I don't, I'm not so body aware even after chanting Om once. So maybe that, yes. I have no idea how long. I'm already, my eyes are rolling back, alpha's coming forward, so I'm able to shift into the alpha state somewhat easily in that fashion. But gosh, chances are I would just fall backwards at a certain point without ever having said anything.
have you ever experienced like the merging of this, like where someone comes into you with this type of thing?
Oh yeah, that's how my out of bodies began.
Yeah.
So the tangible presence merging with me. It does not happen to that depth and degree, to that feeling sensation anymore, because I'm already aligned with it to a significant degree now. And so now it feels like a lightness or softness from the inside of me that's just sort of opening out. Yeah, and then I'm not so body aware. I can't feel the outside edges of me anymore, and I'll start just sort of scanning the new space. And Lord only knows how long it would, I can go into OBEs that way. It's just channeling is not something I've ever, like I would like for you, like you're aware, you're saying, okay, and Ra is here, okay, and I'm here. Yeah, so like you have a process, you see the portals, you know what to look for, you get there relatively fast, so does Ra. I don't have that. How do I get there?
Um, I would have to, how is it that you're able to get to the place where you can bring someone closer into your field or go to them, if that would work? One of the entities that you spoke of that wants to speak through you, are you able to bring that being close to you?
When I was just doing what I was doing, I was inviting all who were wanting to vocal channel with me to come into my field, but there was no visual of that being. There was no feeling sensation of that being. There's just sort of a vastness of space that I was just now feeling. But what are some exercises I can do on a regular basis?
Well, for me, and I'm not, again, I'm not very knowledgeable about this, but something that is something that I feel like I learned and I was taught from the beginning is it's almost like having markers or having something agreed. Like I will go into my out of body state and I will find the Dragon Mother portal, and this always brings forward my twin we Ra. We have this connection with this being, and if there's a type of something that is a connection between you and this being that can kind of like bridge together, this is something that comes to mind. Is there
The
something that
the only place that comes to mind is what I call the interval space. Yeah, it's a void of the chocolate brown color with the golden lights and the little light pink. Interestingly enough, those are the colors that the being, the serious being who wants to channel with me is. When they came through the crystal, those are the colors almost. It was more of an orange in that, but the gold and the brown was there. Yeah, and so maybe look for the interval space, but that doesn't appeal to me.
I'm thinking there has to, like, it almost has to be like a meeting place almost, and maybe something to create in that space that or bring into that space that will be okay. I'm bringing this here. Are you going to meet me in this space, and then we'll do this understanding together. For me, it's the orange flash that was. I don't depend on that all the time, but in the beginning I absolutely, I need to see something or know something or feel something in order to just
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
That's it exactly. I need the tangible something that tells me
something,
something's
yeah.
happening.
Something's different. It's not just I'm having an out of body and I'm talking, and that's for me, that is the signal almost that we agreed upon. It's a funny, for whatever reason, Ra has always used signals with me, and when I first realized that I was seeing him in real time, he would go like this all the time and look at me, and it was like, my first thought was, you're making fun of my glasses. I mean, that's why am I seeing this? But it was an I see you, you see me. Yeah. It's funny because my daughter saw the same. She saw someone going like this to her one time, and asked me, have you ever seen an entity do that? Yes, I have. But it was kind of like an agreed upon thing or something.
Okay, so this is a good idea. This gives me something to quote do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask my entity to give me a sign, a signal, and I can ask for what that is. Tonight, as I'm going into my sleep, I will do that. In my meditations tomorrow, I will do that. In my mirror gazing, I will do that until I get what our signal will be. Yeah. Okay, good idea. Thank you. Where's my pen and paper? I can remember that. Okay, so your turn again. Let's see if you can bring Ra'a forward and let Ra'a speak for, say, 30 minutes. Like, don't give up if there's a pause.
Okay.
I'll let you know when 3 minutes has gone by. If it seems like you're having just a lot of open space, I'll just let you know 3 minutes has gone by. And if he's talking, we'll just go ahead and let him talk. A question came to me in particular when I was thinking, this is funny how it happens when you're on the toilet a lot. Things will come through you. It's like it's one of those places, like the shower.
Yeah.
But it came to me, like a question came to me. I have a moth. Can you see that? Oh, dog. Hi, little one. I'm sorry, I'm playing. What was the question? The question was if the current human body in its current format exists in the fourth dimension. And it's funny, I had never wondered that before. I've never wondered before. That's not something I've ever wondered before. But when I was thinking about, okay, it's 8 o'clock here my time, I was thinking about, the meeting tonight, that question came through. So let me just let you know that happened and see if that's something that Ra'a wanted to bring information about. He may or may not, but
that is actually, I believe I've seen, remote viewing. I've seen what certainly look like human beings in the same environment at different times. But we'll see what comes forward and what. Okay.
Yeah, or he could just want to say something else and, send an energy transmission. Who knows? I'm just saying that did happen. It's interesting that it happened when I was thinking about meeting you here. So, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. Bringing in crystals, of course. Okay, all right, I'm ready.
Okay. I'm coming forward to speak about many things that will seem of no importance to many people. Sun children can hear the voice of their relatives speaking with fiery tongues and bringing whirlpools of energy that changes environments, your physical body is capable of being in more than one place in awareness, in DNA knowledge, in a time without any limits. Many tasks, juggling, and these things do not present as problems, but yet they become down. The whirling can change in more than one place. A time without time superimposed upon another. Habitats for souls, housing. We are speaking because we are calling forth whirlpools, openings that will create bridges.
Would it help bring forward information if I asked a question?
Yes, you can ask questions of these matters.
I would like to know more about you and your race and your world.
My world is artificial. We move in and out. We work in and out. My world is my center. My family workers, people with us together, are together in and out of reality.
So you are not living on a physical planet.
I am in a created space environment and move in and out of physical reality.
When you move out from your world to go, for lack of a better way to say it, somewhere else, where do you go?
We reverse backwards, creating a portal that extends forwards. This becomes a root, and this is the form.
Do you reside in what we would call a dimension?
We are 5 dimensions and 2 going forward.
Do you have a family unit?
My family is everywhere.
Is there anything more personal? A significant other? Children? Biological children?
We have children. We have children. Very important. We care for them. They are everything.
How are the children created?
They are grown and ensouled in a manner that changes.
Can you describe the environment in which they are grown?
This is water.
I saw you coming.
I tried to. That was very different.
What happened for you?
I found myself experiencing everything inside of Ra'a's body. I was in it was like the reverse of what and it was like a yellow and pink environment, and it was just really different and beautiful. I kept seeing images and things that were a little bit distracting, and I at a couple of different times I was aware to a certain extent of what I was saying or what was being spoken through me, and I start popping up and saying that doesn't make any sense. I do that sometimes. I start fighting the process instead of just allowing the words to come forward.
Yeah, and Rob was really beginning to come forward. It was making perfect sense. If you think that there's something that doesn't make any sense, my mind is so out there. I can run with it. I can, take the question in another manner, spin it in another way, go in another direction. And so, don't even worry about anything like that. It was just starting to get good.
That I really have a hard time holding this for us. It's like my everything wants to just like gravity. It just starts pulling me back. I feel like I need to somehow extend my time of being able to stay down.
Yes. So, what exactly do you start feeling? What is it that brings you back? The thought that this isn't making any sense or this is no good, or is it something else? Is it an energy?
It's an energy that starts like coming up with me, and my body starts coming uncomfortable, and then it's just fish, and I'm you know sometimes it's that he leaves, and but it's usually almost always me that ends things in some sort of way in that manner.
Yeah, he probably leaves if the body is becoming overheated or too uncomfortable. So we were going into this earlier today. This is a concept that's really coming through strongly for me right now and has been for the last year, and that is being fit for the service and change and keeping up with the changes and what I need to do to make my system fit for channeling specifically. I know it has been made fit for the out of body experience. um, I know I need to make some changes, to move more forward with this. getting a message. One, they want me to laugh. They do, I'm very serious. I tend to be very serious, and they want me to make weird squeaky sounds with my voice. So I'm just going to do it for a moment. Here she comes to save the day. Okay, okay. They're just redirecting my energy um, from the space like between the heart and the throat up here to the crown of the head for some reason. So that's what that was all about. Here we go. I'm gonna go back to the normal sound now. Now the family just came home and the kids are yelling like mad. I can't focus. I can, but nothing's going to come forward in words. It's just I'm going to sit here and start to maybe see a little something. So yeah, it's not the right space for it right now. They're slamming doors and screaming. It's too loud. Yeah. And on top of what they just made me do, I can't focus.
That's fantastic. I really feel like sometimes I want to do like bop, 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 or something, just something to get it,
Yep.
yeah, something to get it going.
I can see I'm going to be one of those people that, really scrambles some sounds to get, opening. Yeah, so that might be a thing for me. And I don't mind doing that in any way, shape, or form. And I like laughing and I like to make people laugh. And so the idea of people laughing doesn't bother me at all. It's funny because when my entity wants to make me laugh, they sing that song. Here she comes to save the day, the Canadian monkey, cartoon from when I was a kid.
Mighty Mouse. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to practice. And I don't know if you want to, sit and do some channeling where I'm asking some questions and getting some information from Ra'a.
That was different. It was a different place that I was in that I found myself in doing that somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. And it will bring more information. That's one of my problems. If somebody had asked me a question or said something for me to reply to, I'm going to have a much easier time feeling and seeing, the concepts. Yeah. Without it, it's like nothing's there. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah. It's just like no start. Yeah. Maybe I'll come up with some question or something simple to get to see if you feel this answer wants to come forward. Like,
yeah. Maybe you could address my entity about how we, ask the question, how can we help Casey open her vocal channel and see, things like that, I doubt I could pop right onto, what's going to happen in 2020 or, things like that. But something real close to home, real pertinent to the beginning stages of this, like how can we get this going? What suggestions are there for Casey to, make it easier, to hit for it? Is there a reason it's not happening now? Things like this.
I think the signal will really help too. If you can agree on a signal, that will really, be. I'm
going to do that tonight, and I'm going to tone. I'm going to find out how I am going to tone. I will find my method of toning because that seems like it's something that makes me vibrate, that causes me to lose my own outside edges and has me exploring a wider environment. That's very helpful to me. Yeah, like you say, going out of body, getting into that out of body state. And I can do it relatively fast through that means. So I will definitely tone. It will definitely be a hum, that creates a vibration in the body, and I'll ask for the signal. And uh, beginning right this moment, because that's the only time anything ever begins, I'm backing off of my cooked food at 4. I'm
Very nice.
excited. It
Me
feels like I'm
too.
doing feels like I'm doing something to get the ball rolling. That makes me feel good. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much.
You. Thank you so much.
Let me mention briefly here that when we met the first time, which was the last time, you helped me with a couple concepts, for beginning the channeling. And one of those was to have my crystals nearby, which I have. And then the other one was to ask for and receive a symbol that I could use as a place marker or meeting place for meeting my entity. And so, yeah, that came immediately. My very next meditation session. And the symbol is, I want to say a word, sort of a Celtic looking tree, like ground level, earth wise. It's this large Celtic looking tree with enormous, enormous roots that are, showing on they're so large, they're not all under, so have you ever seen one of those
Yeah.
large
Yeah.
roots exposed? And this tree has a perfect nestling spot for me to sit there. And now mentally, this symbol is very different. And it looks like a tree in fall. So the branches have no, and it looks like the tree is mirrored up and down like this. So the roots down here are actually resembling the branches up here.
Like the as above, so below symbol. I've seen that, it's like the tree that's connected to its own roots and it makes a torus, like a, a funnel that almost that same shape. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Roots and the branches are similar, but yeah, that's the mental symbol. And if I want to sort of look for an etheric or astral space to sit, I can find that Celtic tree and just sort of sit myself there.
Wow, that's great.
So yeah, that worked really well. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also came to understand the infinity loop thing that I was getting. Remember? And it occurred to me just this afternoon. I'm surprised that I didn't make the connection sooner, because it said it twice. Infinity loop, infinity loop. It was saying it twice or in twos. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they were letting me know about the Lionsgate portal, that's coming up. The Lionsgate is huge for me. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's an alignment that happens um, the 8/8 of every month, and sometimes occurs more hugely than at other times. But yeah, that's coming up, and it's a huge portal for me. Almost everything for me begins in August, like this at the Lion.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
everything, my
Wow.
whole life. Mm-hmm.
I
So,
have this thing with the infinity loop too. As a symbol that's come to me a bunch of times, and it started off with, remember the glasses thing I was telling you about? That turned into an infinity loop one time in front of me, and it began this whole dialogue about that. That's really amazing.
yeah. So the connections are being made, movement is being made, and I'm very happy about this. Now, you've mentioned a few things that were coming to you in your private this morning. So tell me what's newly coming to you now.
Well, it's from the time that when we met the last time, and the short channeling that I was able to get into, and I wasn't able to stay there. I feel like I learned something about it's my own level of discipline, and it's also that I'm not necessarily understanding the different types of pictures. It's like something that I'd forgotten about before was when I first learned navigating the astral, as I call it, I think of it as it was I would see Ra, but sometimes I don't see him just like sometimes I see a scene, sometimes I'm being shown a scene, sometimes I'm seeing a scene that I'm being asked to participate in, and like holding something for me, waiting for a response if I'm going to take this object. And sometimes I'm seeing a scene that's like it's happening and I'm actually participating in it, but I'm not aware of it yet. And then there's other times when I'm seeing, I can actually see his thoughts at times, to be subjected to that when I'm like in that stage. And as soon as I asked myself, I saw that it was really a funny image. It was like gray people standing next to each other, and they had their tongues out, almost like taking communion or something. I'm sure there was a meaning to that, but and it really did make sense with what we were talking about. I gotta move this. The sun is really, but it's even worse. Sorry, but it's just discerning where I am in these places, and then I feel like I shouldn't even really be aware of these things. I'm supposed to be down, not what am I seeing and what am I supposed to do with this. And that's how I pulled myself out of it, was by you know trying to interpret things when I shouldn't have been even in that state of awareness. So I'm really thinking that, oh sorry.
So is there a plan for
Yeah, I think that,
individuals?
yeah, I think I need to I really the drumming thing, I think this is all going to come together somehow with my ability to stay down, and hold that energy for longer, because it's almost like I kick it out because it's too much or something for some reason, or I just come back into the picture again. But I think that that's really going to help somehow.
Have you ever thought about not sitting in the middle like that, where you're aware of the additional fields, but also aware of this field? Have you ever thought about just vacating this field altogether and going into another? While
That's
channeling?
usually, yeah, that's when I do, like when I just record my own self, and or just by myself without anyone, a second party interaction, um and I go into the trance, and whatever comes out is what he has to say. And then I don't remember it a lot of times. It's like a complete blank, and I know that I'm doing it correctly, but in that way I think that I'm doing it correctly because I can't remember it. I'm not engaged. It's like I'm going into a different level, which I was having a hard time with. Yeah, I don't. Are you going to ask me questions, or is this going to be? This is. I think this is what I shouldn't even be concerned about that. I should just be able to go deeper and not even be concerned.
Yeah, I would love to ask questions. So I will have the entity instigate that by saying we're ready for questions or something along this line.
We are here and are able to speak clearly.
Who is here?
We are Ra'a. We are here now and are able to speak and hear clearly.
The last time we spoke, I was asking questions about you, your world, your civilization, and we were going into the children and how the children are created. May we continue here?
They are held in water until they are able to enter the environment where they must go. They are very adaptable to multiple environments. They will adapt and live because of the time they spend in isolation, in water, nutrients, growth, light, sound, they will be strong and accomplish many beautiful ideas.
How much time do they spend in the water?
This would be similar to 3 months.
And what is formation when they come out of the water? Are they the size of what we would call a newborn child, or are they full grown?
They are the size of a small child, sometimes full grown, depending on the task that the body is required and the environment it must live in.
What is the atmosphere of the planet? Or the atmosphere of your living environment?
This is created. This is necessary. It has to be sealed, and absolute terrible loss can happen. The sealing of this environment is the most important thing, and it's the same as the growing of children for the same purpose.
I'm reaching for a clearer idea. For instance, the atmosphere of our own planet, although created, we would say is oxygen. What is the created atmosphere of your own living environment?
A similar compatible form, different carbon, similar, regulated, and introduction of water into the environment.
What we would call humidity, something like this.
An environment that can grow plants as similar.
Can you describe your physicality, your visual appearance?
This is not who I am. They see me as frightening small.
Are you humanoid?
Yes.
What is the color of your skin?
I tend to appear yellow and a greenish blue and a dark blue.
So you can take, I'm sorry, you can change the color of your skin?
This changes.
Is there a variation between yourself and others in your world?
Many variations, yes. Many. Many.
Can you tell me what some of the variations are?
Dolphin. These are humanoid beings of this type of environment, compatible also in multiple areas.
Is your world call our galaxy or our universe?
The portal is within sight. We can see each other.
Can you give an approximate location of where the portal is located in reference to our own skies?
We see this area as Orion in the map of the people's understanding. We are many a membrane that separates.
A membrane that we are able to travel through, or a membrane that is a barrier to that?
We can travel through there as spirits. As spirits, everyone can. This is open and accepting.
Welcome back.
I knew that was gonna happen. It was very, it's like really hanging on, like underwater, going like, I'm trying to hang
How do you feel?
on. I feel very, I feel very awake and like I just, very alert and centered. Yeah.
Okay. It was hard for me to hear some of it because the roosters are that loud. So
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if I was talking over or if I was coming in at the wrong times.
I could hear them. They kept kind of pulling me back. I could hear them, but I was not letting go. I'm not letting go. I'm staying where, trying really to stay in that place. Yeah.
You did good. You did good. Um, I wanted to ask Ra'a, and let's start here next time we bring him through. If he has ever done this before.
If he's a, what was the, I couldn't hear that.
I was wanting to ask Ra'a if he's ever done this before.
Yeah. That will be interesting. I can pretty much um guarantee that I feel it's a yes answer. Um, from what I understand about the past lives and everything,
Uh-huh.
it was um it was part of a discipline that we undertook of connecting with like our higher selves and allowing this energy to come through. And it was like when this whole thing about channeling, it wasn't something that I wanted to do at all. In fact, I can't think. It was not. It's like that. That I can't think of anything I would have, wanted to do less than something like this. But it kept coming. Will you speak for us again? And but yeah, it would be interesting to find out
Yeah,
more. I don't remember a lot. I kind of was going in and out and remembering certain things.
I want to know specifically if Ra'a, as Ra'a, has ever channeled through another of his points. Yeah, because if he has, then he'll be familiar with how to work your biological structure and how to get information through relative to exactly what I'm asking. He'll know how to connect with me, understand my meaning and the context in which I'm asking the questions, and deliver a lot of really precise, detailed information. Entities that are not accustomed to doing this have a more challenging time with all of this, and they're learning as they go, as we're learning as we go.
Yeah.
um, yeah, that'll be interesting. And I can feel the energy. I can feel within the energy what it is I'm curious about. My questions often come faster than his replies are coming through. There's long pauses, so I'm not sure if he's done or if more is going to come. Uh,
Yeah.
if I should wait or dive in. It's sort of a darned if you do and darned if you don't. And with more coming, it's usually something juicy. And cutting it off is a, shame. And then not diving in and letting there be too much of a space may bring you back before I'm done asking my questions. So,
Yeah, yeah, I could see that would be, yeah.
yeah, so we'll play with this. We'll all get accustomed to each other's energies and entities and all of that. Um,
Yeah.
I could go ahead and give it a try, but I'll let you know that I'm super, super sleepy. A sleep wave started hitting me when this happens. When I start getting pulled in, it's hard for me to stay in the physical field. Everything's very fuzzy. I'm sitting here, but I am, yeah, I'm in a deep alpha state right now, and not in a clear sort of way. And gosh, I just want to fall in there and out sort of way.
Yeah. Would you like me to try and ask a question or bring something to to
Yeah,
like
with the roosters, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do it. But
I'll mute my microphone.
okay, but then you won't be able to ask your question. And the questions would be helpful, but I feel like the only thing that I'm ready for are perhaps questions about the process. Like, what are you seeing? Things.
Okay.
Is there an energy present? Can you identify the energy? Things like this.
Okay.
So, okay, give me a moment. I too like to take my glasses off and put my hair to the side, otherwise it's sticking to my back. I'm very easily in the awareness center right now. It's not as easy to talk when I'm here.
Are you aware of a presence?
At the moment, I'm seeing rooftops, an endless horizon of rooftops. One moment. Yes, I'm aware of a presence now, mostly at my sacrum. It just feels like it's sitting where I'm sitting.
Do you know who this presence is?
Yes. The one who came through the crystal, the aquatic reptilian.
Can you ask him if he wishes to speak through you?
I'm beginning to have a sensation in my throat. It feels like a pressure coming at things from this angle is not going to immediately bring a message from this entity. It may bring information about the synchronization of our systems. And the process of what needs to be worked through for this to happen. I like the feeling that's happening right now. Question.
Can you tell us more about what needs to happen with the process that we can understand and learn?
The position of the body is not ideal. Either a strengthening of this body in order to hold itself upright, in a comfortable fashion is necessary, or and it may also achieve a reclined, a somewhat reclined state. Right now, he's showing me that I don't need to put my physical body in this position, that shifting in toward the next body and rotating into this position is fine. So we're doing this right now. It's interesting because in my perception, the reclined state, he keeps saying, I say position, he says state, is forward and not back. There needs to be an opening of the vocal center, which is currently closed down. To me. Circulating, I'm seeing a picture of what they're doing. So I'm seeing a circulating energy, a spiral that is 6, that is 6 layers out. Feel them. I can feel work. It's starting to feel like I have a bit of an earache. Okay.
Is there something that we can learn as far as how to open the vocal area?
Yes. They're moving me into deeper levels of relaxation. I'm feeling the struggle to say the words. Now, if I'm going to stay up front, it's going to get harder in this energy for me to speak. As it gets harder for me to speak, as I move deeper into the energy levels, I'll begin being able to form the word concepts. Question.
Have you traveled far? Your home, is it far?
I am here.
Can you tell us more about your people?
I think we're going too fast because this entity is not that here yet. I'm still here. I don't know. So if you address me, Casey, until the being comes through, that might be best.
Okay, Casey, what can you tell about the being? What does he look like? But do you get a sense of his name?
No, none of this.
No.
No, we're still in the process.
Do you get a sense of what he does? Is it a he or a she, or do you have a feeling of that?
I am almost always in reference to a he, interestingly. But
Do you have
still, this energy that's here, this presence that is here, uh, is not formed at this point. This is a presence. It's a feeling presence. The energy isn't even yet fully formed. Just the presence and the activity of the synchronization of the systems. That is mainly what is in my awareness. That is mainly what I could probably speak on.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be what you should speak about. That seemed to be where it was coming very clear.
Yeah, it's
If you can describe the pictures that you're seeing, the images.
so I was in a non-visual realm. After the rooftops, I was in a fairly non-visual realm, and I'm back out of the awareness center now. It's easy to talk. Wow, when I shifted into that space, and I very definitely would call it the awareness center. Um, Boy, I was really struggling to make the words. Yeah, I didn't want to make words. I think that addressing what was happening in my own systems is probably as far as we could go at that point, you know. So how they were getting my system to synchronize with the larger system, and because I could see the activity, I could see the symbols, not visually. I was aware. Like it's like when you feel an energy and you know what it is. You don't see what it is. You know what it is. Yeah. And so it's sort of in a non-visual area. But yeah, the spiral was there trying to see how many layers out it was, you know, because that was sort of important. The tail end of the spiral I could see was at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you know, so like the position and everything was important. You know, I maybe let's do it this way. You work on the part of the process that you are more prevalently at, which is, you know, bringing raw through, um, and staying down, as you put it, so that raw can bring through more detailed information, you know, and get comfortable in your system so that he can speak faster. And I will bring through the process of getting in there.
I don't know why I'm thinking that maybe if you almost like if you drew it out or something, the rest will come to you about this spiral for some reason.
Yeah, a lot of it was sensation, and so because I consciously make shifts, I'm able to identify sort of the landmarks, uh,
Yeah.
where I am in terms of brain waves and frequencies and the feelings of those, what occurs in them, where they are. So, like, I'm really great with the internal workings, the internal structures of things. And, it sort of makes me feel like that's the type of information we're going to be bringing through also. So not so much, although it may get to the point where I can bring through that which will start talking about planets and planetary bodies and.
Yeah. Yeah. It might help if, like, if you might be better at asking the questions, if you can, like, write them out, or so it's just a general direction based on what you got today, and then I can ask them and not come from left field. And I was, you know trying to understand and connect, and but I think I was distracting more than anything.
No, don't feel insecure about asking the questions. Asking the questions is as hard as bringing the answers. And so, yeah, no, I think it's really important for the questions to be authentic and genuinely coming from you, from feeling whatever kind of energy you feel happening here as I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah. So just sort of yeah, be attentive to where I am in the process.
I was, like, swaying back and forth like this. I had this, I could feel it was wonderful. I could feel it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Good.
When
Good.
you were, yeah.
Hmm.
Ah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. I think the mirror gazing is a definitely something that helps. I don't have somebody asking questions like I have when we get together. I have um, things happening in the mirror that is approximating the same thing. Yeah. So there is a dream symbol we are wondering about. If it's time for me to ask a question, the dream symbol was myself delivering 2 red feathers to Cynthia. Can you tell us the meaning of this symbol?
This is a symbol of accomplishment, a remarkable journey, a shared understanding,
Is this symbol performing a function in Cynthia's biological structure?
this is an opening of the head and the top of the portals, symbol activating the physical changes occurring, symbol connecting in understanding and acknowledgement with agreement.
Is there a meaning or an importance to the color red?
This meaning is happiness in our understanding and spectrum. This is the first sight within the spectrum. This is acknowledgement. The spectrum. Red is our happy understanding symbol. Color is very beloved and attractant.
Thank you.
And there's a gift being passed at this moment, and we thank you as well.
I love you.
I became aware at a certain point of having a hard time trying to pronounce something for some reason. It was like,
I
so,
was like, your face was right up there on the screen, and I was like, it was, no, I think that was the gift. I think that was an energy transfer. It was 2 syllables with a certain space in between. And I don't think there's anyone on the planet that appreciates meter as much as I do. I get it. Yeah, so I'll try to unpack that later. Thank you. Okay, so that was good. That was good. Let's go ahead and call it for today.
yeah, okay.
And
That was fun. Yeah, a stretch. I feel like a workout.
But anyway, that's another subject. Let's go into the channeling.
Okay.
Okay, an older version of Ra'ah, or Ra'ah's higher self, or something along this line we're bringing forward.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a lot of static on your end. Do you have the fan on?
There.
Because I'd hate to miss
Yeah.
anything that happens. Okay, you go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm feeling like I'm just going to talk. I feel like I want to just talk because I'm seeing the portal and a lot of movement around the portal. I'm seeing hands. And he's sitting inside of me. And I am here and am ready and able to communicate our dear friends. We thank you.
Is this Ra?
Yes, I am here.
We were trying to go in or are wanting to go into the idea, to an idea that came through in relation to an older version of Ra. Is that one accessible?
I can speak with you now. I am here.
Is this the older version of Ra?
This is myself that I understand. The true form that I choose. Yes.
Can you tell us more about this idea that was coming through to Cynthia about an older version of Ra?
This Shansam Ra'a Ne um, different and the same person. I am inside of myself.
Okay, we'll leave that idea there and move on. In being here with us today, is there anything you would like to put through to the both of us?
We are recapturing, reenacting our true and formal paths and natures. And as we follow these, much more opening and understanding comes with this. More energy, more understanding. We are doing very well. Everything is going absolutely around and coming together. The timing of all connections is touching off and setting many other situations in motion. This is very positive. This is very important.
Cynthia and I meeting at this time. Is there something you can tell us about this?
We would like to say thank you for your attention and concern. This is appreciated. Voices opening. This causes much change and is very appreciated. The powerful way of change requires more emptiness. There are practices of 2 points cutting that can be very useful within the self and within the inside of self. An image is shown of this symbol, and the understanding is this is activating one thing to the next. Very appreciated from many, many spectrums. Endeavors
May I ask one more question? Ra, I'm curious if you have channeled in this way to other beings previously. Is this an activity you are familiar with? And if so, how familiar with the activity are you?
I speak to others with pictures and I show them these ideas and help them and guide them in this manner. I am not skilled to the extent of speaking through others. We are working together, improving. This is very important. I have children that I guide and I talk to them and I show them pictures. And these connect things in a way they can understand, if not complete a process.
Do you stay on your planet or do you travel between worlds? And if you travel between worlds, is it with the assistance of a craft?
I am piloting various different crafts, most times with one or two bodies action functioning.
Have you ever been in our local space?
This is my home.
Earth is your home?
This is my home. 2 cycles have 2 cycles. I leave. I'm inside and outside at once.
Have you ever been in a craft that you pilot in the local space of our Earth planet?
Many times, yes. Many times.
Now,
I am not at this moment in Earth space.
for what purpose do you come to Earth space?
I am compelled and bound
Has Cynthia ever been on board one of these crafts?
says yes.
For what purpose was she on board?
We are checking, examining. We are repairing and encouraging, downloading and assisting for a moment.
Has Cynthia ever been conscious on board?
Not in full conscious.
Is this a part of the program of activity that is going to happen on board craft? Will she ever be brought to full conscious awareness?
This will happen. This will happen, yes.
Is her central nervous system prepared?
Very much so at this time.
In regard to your, I will say, physicalities, form, how closely do you resemble what Cynthia paints?
Somewhat.
It will not be a shock to the nervous system to see you in full conscious awareness.
Yes. Very much. Very much. But the preparation is underway and this will happen. This is a process.
Yes. In my own process, I'm shown the various crafts. I'm shown the various eyes. Are you moving through a similar process with Cynthia, showing her parts of what she'll be seeing in full one day?
Yes.
What has she seen in full conscious awareness?
She has seen all of my features of my physical nature.
And her response to this?
She is very happy.
Okay. I know that right now, there's only so much I'm able to see in full conscious awareness. Like in our mirror gazing practice, we have a threshold. And there's only so much in my experiences on board craft I consciously or bring back into full conscious awareness here on the planet. I may be in full conscious awareness on the craft, but I do not necessarily bring those experiences back with me into full conscious awareness here on the planet. Again, I have a threshold. I'm wondering if you can tell Cynthia where she is in her own process. What has her threshold been thus far?
Fear, barrier, afraid of death, afraid of change, loss of control. These are the shocks that cause the unconscious takeover response.
How is Cynthia doing right now? Is she needing to come back?
She's feeling discomfort and physical.
This is the longest she has stayed in, and I want to be sure I heard you correctly. Did you say she is comforted or discomforted?
She is discomfort.
And discomfort. Okay. Shall we bring Cynthia back now? I don't want to see her in any discomfort. Get in there.
Foggy, right? I feel like I weigh like lead right now.
You got in there. You were in there. That was good. Did you hear any of it?
I was aware of certain questions, yeah, but I can't think of anything in specific right now. I was uncomfortable.
Was it your sitting position or was the energy too much?
At some points, the energy was very, very strong, and I felt almost nauseous in my stomach.
Yeah.
It was just really, really strong, and I still feel it right now, this pressure on the top of my head right now.
When I asked Ra if he had channeled through people, if he had spoke through their physicalities before, I think Ra liked this question. As I asked this question, you went very down and Ra came very up and then very forward. Yeah, so something in the energy dynamic of that question and what was happening in there seemed to be well suited for bringing him more forward.
I have to listen to it.
Yeah. Well, I was asking if you were ever on board. First, I asked if they had ever been on. First, I asked if he traveled between worlds or if he stayed on his own planet. And then
I
I,
remember Earth, yeah, talking about Earth, and he was
if
talking.
he traveled between worlds, did he use a craft to do so? And then I asked if he ever came on a craft into our local space. And then I asked if you had ever been on board that craft. And then I asked for what purposes you were on board the craft. And then I asked if you had ever, if bringing you into full conscious awareness on the craft was a part of your program. And so then I was going into um, how much you were able to hold and things like this. I asked about your central nervous system. I asked, how approximate is their actual physicality to what you paint? I wanted to know how much of a shock it would be to you to actually see them in their full physicality while you were on board their craft, and so much of that energy, yeah, which is so different than
Yeah, yeah.
our own earth energy.
Never happened to my knowledge in this sense, but yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good flow of information, and he was right on with the material. He was probably wanting to say more, but I was also wanting to know more other things, so I didn't want to sit in the energy for too long and let the opportunity of what I wanted to ask next get by, because I wanted to get to the point of you being on the craft and consciously being on the craft and conscious interaction on the craft, and where you were in your process of reconfiguring the central nervous system to be able to hold and handle that type of an experience, because that's where we're going when we graduate out from 3D, which is you're stuck on your own planet experience ground. We're going galactic now. We'll still be on Earth at the start of that, but other races will be interacting with us, and so yeah, this is all a part of the preparation for that. I have a process that I move through. I have so many groups that I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
What they started with me, it's a slow process. At first, they have me and sitting in front of books. What conceptually would be a book. And in this book are all the various extraterrestrial craft. I just go through the book and download the information of what I'm seeing into this central nervous system. And that's how it started. They just started showing me the crafts. And then it was the eyes of all the extraterrestrial species. And so in what is, conceptually, again, it's a book. It's not actually a book, but it's conceptually a book. But not a book as we know it, but yeah, then all of the eyes, learning about, all of the different eye types and how their optics work and everything associated with vision, sight, and eyes. And, in this process, it is like the AT being is standing right in front of me, and it's just so close, all I can see is the eyes, and I'm fixated on the eyes.
Yeah.
Downloading that information. So each one I'm seeing this is happening, and that's sort of how I was guided. They're showing me parts of them, and then hands. The next one was the hands. So they just didn't pop out and say, "Here I am." So it was slow. All the crafts, and no craft in particular. All the crafts. All the eyes, all the different kinds of digits, on hands. And things like that. And I'm trying to think if there was another. Yeah, I think that's where I left off. like I was consciously aware of these experiences. I was consciously aware on craft. When I came back into physical space, I brought that conscious awareness back with me.
I've had many remote viewing experiences where like how this morning it was like I'm watching this work scene
I am
and
heating up talking about this.
I got really, really hot too. That was another thing that happened at some point. I was like burning, absolutely burning.
I want to ask you what time this was happening, because what you were saying about, getting really sleepy and now getting hot, these are things I was experiencing during the shamanic drumming, because I was consciously going out of body. I wasn't going out with my consciousness. I was very much, local as well. So, and I was heating up like I am right now. That's what happens when I go out. And I can shift over there. I have to focus. I have to go in and shift. And sometimes I can just be aware, and I'm sort of from the side of myself getting flashes of something or other, and I can get it like that too. But that's what happened. I have not been able to wake myself up since the shamanic drumming. I mean, I was out. After that, all I wanted to do was eat and then lay down. So that was probably a comforting thing, from the weird, anomalous, biological, whatever thing I was seeing that I couldn't identify, probably had me a little bit nervous. And so I was wanting to eat and really sleepy. It was there all day until right now. And right now I'm in a full sweat, like a full sweat. So talking about this is cleansing.
I feel warm around my, I still feel like this warm. I got really, really, really hot though at some point.
Yeah, well, you had to turn your fan off. See, I have to turn mine off when I'm in here too. And I have to close the door. Yeah, so it does get hot in here, but that's not what this is. This is
from inside.
Like I'm sitting in a puddle of my own sweat right now. This is something else. My hair is sticking to the back of me. Okay, so shall I give it a go?
Yes, and would you like me to follow more or less the same format as last time with asking questions, or just following, and you will let me know to ask?
I'll say question
Okay.
when I'm ready for something. And yes, let's focus on the process of going inside myself and what I'm experiencing going inside myself. And from that, we'll see if something else starts to happen or something more. Okay. Okay, I'm approaching the out-of-body state. And I'm in a flow of motion. And in this flow of motion, I'm looking for my tree, and I can't find my tree. What's happening is all these other types of trees are coming into my field. It's like a joke. It's making me laugh. This is the energy I think they're trying to bring up for me to with. In this laughter, I'm realizing that although my symbol's not here, although my tree is not here, this mirrored space is here. So there's a field, a horizontal field, and what is above the field is being mirrored in the space below it. I'm just going to look into the mirror portion, or maybe I'll look into the horizon. Just a moment. It's slippery here. It's slippery. It's like I'm on an ice skating rink. What is this? Okay, I'm getting a present. Just sat up real serious, like all of a sudden. But I'm really super uber conscious and upfront. Question.
Is this a presence that you recognize?
No. It's just a presence. It's sat upright. It's serious.
Do you feel like you want to speak and ask the presence why it's there?
No, I'm not even close to that.
Are you still able to see the mirrored horizon?
It's like I'm inside a mirror right now. Like I'm inside the mirror.
Can you see color?
No, it's black and shades of black.
Do you feel like you want to stay there?
Hmm. I feel like they have me here. I don't know why. It's nice.
Is there anything at all you can describe?
Hmm. No. No, there's nothing. There's a lot of light permeating this space from the outside room.
Do you feel like you want to go to the outside room?
No, that would bring me out where I'm at. No, I mean here in my room, my physical room, there's a lot of light coming inside from here. It's getting in the way of me being able to see more. I'm going to try though. I'm going to try to go deeper in. My body is uncomfortable. I'm getting frustrated because my body's uncomfortable. I'm going to try to visualize. I'm going to visualize big numbers, partially because that's sort of what's already happening in here. Saying a big one, like it's huge, like a cartoon version or kindergarten size version of the number 1 and 2, 3, 4. I'm going to follow these numbers. 5, 6. The numbers are getting littler and they're shrunking down. 6, 7, 8, 9. They stopped. The big 9 sitting right in front of me, very close. Right, that game is over. Question.
What are you seeing now?
Nothing. Nothing's happening. I'm frustrated that nothing is happening. I'm not even going inside myself. I'm just sitting here. I'm not happy that I'm just sitting here. I'm processing this emotion, this energy. This energy is getting in the way, so I don't know why I'm holding on to it. Question.
Do you think it might be better to come out and then go back in again and perhaps
I'm ready to continue. Question.
what are you seeing now?
I'm not seeing anything. I'm just sitting here. Question. Ah, I
What
see what you're doing. I see what's happening now. My team is working with you. Question.
how can we help you get into the state you need to find?
Different question. They're doing that. New question.
What would you like to learn?
One moment. There are concepts coming in. There's an answer coming in reply to this, but I am not able to. Now I'm going in. Question.
Where are you now?
Nowhere in particular.
Can you
Just deeper inside myself.
are there anything notable, any color?
There's movement. There's the vaguest idea of outline, shape, and color.
Can you describe the movement?
It's complex. Yes, I can describe it. It's complex. Shapes within shapes within shapes, concentric. Turning and spiraling. The shapes change. Colors change. Nothing stays the same. It's not one thing. It's very complex. I like it.
Do you feel it's a pattern you're seeing for a reason?
Yes, everything's for a reason. Ah, one of them turned into a paddle boat. Not like a paddle boat I've ever seen. It has a handlebar like this. With oars, fin on the side. And I'm driving it with my arm.
And what are you moving towards?
And that changed into a tractor. Tractor with huge wheels. I'm higher than I was just a minute ago. Just a minute ago, I was down on the water, and now I'm up in the air on this huge tractor. The tractor's not so big, the wheels are enormous. Question.
Do you feel like you want to take the tractor someplace?
No, just everything's morphing from one thing into another thing, into another thing. I'm a bird now, a brown bird with a big yellow, long pointy beak.
What does the bird hold meaning for you?
No meaning.
Have you seen this bird before?
No. I haven't.
Can you talk to the bird?
No, it's already changing into something else. Huh. Yeah. Everything's just moving, Ra. It's just moving. I have no desire to control it. I don't have any wants. I'm just moving. One form into another form, into another form, one element into another element, into another element.
Do you feel there's something to learn from this morphing?
Not learn, experience. It's like having your mind being taken off something. It's like resting.
Are you in a
Process. It's a part of the process of putting down control. There's a message. There's always movement. You're always something. You're always somewhere. I have no difficulty moving. I'm not attached to any one shape or one form or one place. And this is good. This makes the process easier. But that's partially behind us going through this motion. Is they're wanting me to know I'm always something, I'm always somewhere. They're just taking me away. It's part of the process of them, of me stepping back. It's a delightful process, but it's a slow one. I don't feel anyone stepping forward. But I'm not frustrated anymore, and that's something.
Are you still morphing and seeing the changing?
Not so much. Now I sort of feel like I want to fall forward onto my face.
What sort of physical sensations are you having?
Just slipping into my other body. It's in a different position than my sitting body. And I'm starting to gravitate into it. This is not going to help this process. This is going to take me out of body. I'm so accustomed to just going out of body. This is not going to help me channel. I'm coming back. I'm frustrated again. Wow, that's a pretty green. Yeah. Today we're learning about how certain energies will very definitely get in the way and slow things down. Fine. I am a Speedy Gonzalez. You know, I don't like it when things happen slow. It's like, come on already.
Yeah.
Do something, make something happen. You're the ones who know. I mean, I can hear my internal dialogue. Sweep me the fuck out of the way. Come on forward. Say something to the people.
Yeah. It's for me, it's never the same way twice, even with my, my orange flash and my little symbols, and it's never there's always like this, okay, is this, I didn't get the orange flash today, but I definitely got there's always something different. It's never an easy formula to get, always changing.
The questions pushing me along help. Even if you ask something that's I'm not going to be able to answer and I just say question or new question, it's okay. That still helps. And I could see they were working with you. It's not easy to know what to ask, is it?
No. No, it's not. I was really trying to.
Yeah.
Uh,
But when you get into the point where you can ask the right questions, it really can get the other person into the flow. Like,
yeah. Mm.
yeah. So like Ra and I did that today. Yeah, I was able to have the, and you were down and Ra was coming through. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I think they were working with you, and I don't know if they made you as frustrated as they were making me. So I'm like, nothing's happening. Yeah, I'm like really sitting here. I'm like, I'm not even going inside myself. I'm just sitting here with my eyes closed. I'm like, what's that? You know? Um, but yeah, they want, yeah, as soon as you can get in the flow of sort of, mm, I'll tell you what I do when I'm asking the questions.
Mm.
Um, First, I'm connecting with the being's energy. So when you start moving slow, sort of the way that you do, I can tell that something's happening. So I just connect with that something, and there's a feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a feeling to it, and I just feel what the feeling is. You know, it'll feel like it's floating, you know, or it'll feel, you know, like it's large, you know, or perceptually large, or, you know, it'll feel like something. Oh, it's like the questions are right there. And yeah, they're always, you say the connection point when you connect is, you know, at the navel. When I'm connecting for these questions, yeah, definitely, I'm really strongly feeling the connection at the navel. Um, yeah, it's just like being fed the questions almost. I mean, it's like energy being shot into my own points of interest almost.
Mm.
Yeah, and I can just see, you know, you know, we were talking to Ra'a, so, you know, that's an extraterrestrial. So of course I'm going to want to know about extraterrestrial craft and, you know, if they come into local space and like all of that just like popped in. It's just, yeah, I could see. And then all of a sudden I, I was hearing there's like different levels, you know, that the communication happens on. And I could hear myself asking questions in a certain format, as though you had asked me to ask things that you were interested in knowing. So that was a part of the pattern that was in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just start, for me, it's sort of easy because I've been doing it for so long on this end. On the
Yeah.
question asking end, I've been doing that for so long that that part's easy for me now, or
Yeah.
easier than, you know, it would be for just somebody coming in cold, you know, who never.
Like me. Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
hard because, especially if you're not somebody who ever, you know, watched processes before. I watch processes, so I'm really good. I'm the internal mechanics of something is what I want to get in on, you know. So I don't know if I'm associated with the designers, you know, the architects of reality. It seems like it, you know, because that's my points of fascination. That's always what I see first. That's always, you know, where my attention is wanting to go. And so, you know, watching processes is easy for me. But yeah, the
I,
answering, that's,
it's distracting, the types of questions I was asking.
it's,
It
no,
just
no, it's not, because I have like, I don't know if you've noticed about me, but I'm a no holds barred kind of person. I'm not trying to make you feel good or comfortable. I'm just like, let's do this thing. So
yeah.
I have no problem at all just saying new question. You know, it's like, new question, can't answer that one. New question. So that's going to. Now, were you feeling frustrated on your end? Because it didn't
Um
seem like you were as
not
frustrated as I was.
I didn't feel as frustrated as the last time. The last time I felt like everything that I was asking was kind of, you know, wrong and not in the same, you know, groove that, and I was aware, I can feel like a certain energetic change going on. I can feel this. And when you started talking about the rowboat, I started getting very excited.
I
Like,
was
okay,
very
we're
on
back
that.
someplace now.
That was fun. I had never seen anything quite like that before.
I can
Um,
picture exactly.
yeah. But everything was changing so fast, you know. So I wasn't like on a leisure cruise on that rowboat, and I'm just gonna, you know, be there, because that's not how my consciousness works. I'm always in so many places at the same time, and so there's always a lot of content coming through at the same time, and the motion and the morphing, and yeah. So yeah, and again, if your consciousness isn't structured that way, then it would be hard for you to know what to ask. You know, that's just going to be how it is. But you'll learn as you go. You know,
Yeah.
you'll just all of a sudden feel the question. You know, because the more you're asking something that I can't answer, that I'm replying new question, the more you have to feel into yourself. What you know, what the
Mm.
you know. And the question doesn't have to be a question, by the way, in the way that we normally think of a question. You know, it could be like, it could be leading. So like I said, I was in a lot of motion. So you just repeat, you're in a lot of motion. Can you describe the motion? You know, or you can just repeat what I'm saying. Yeah, that has an impact.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good.
It's just you putting in energy from your end. It's like being a mirror. Yeah, I say something and you just say it back to me. That's sort of a game that we play with each other when I'm going out of body. They flash me a picture, I say what it is. They flash me a picture, I say what it is. They flash me a picture, I'm in. That's, you know, it takes 3 rotations or 3 hypnagogics. You know, it's always comes in 3. That's interesting too. Well, I'm just going to be a slow learner, Ra. I have to feel okay with that too. I
Yeah.
have to feel okay with this just going at the pace at which it's going. You know, I am brand new at this. It's like what, my second or third attempt. You know, it's not going to happen. I mean, nothing big's going to happen that fast, and I just have to be okay with it. It could all of a sudden something could just pop through. That would be really nice, by the way. Just
Yeah.
slam me down and
The last time you seemed to really be tapping in though, and there was you had a connection going, and it was really happening.
the
Yeah.
last time, yeah, I was in there. I was starting to go in there, but um, yeah, if there was more, if you put in more of your energy that was reaching a connection point with where I am in there, uh, then then it would probably take me deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah. The last time it just sort of happened mostly on its own. I closed my eyes and I could feel the suction, you know, and I was like, wow, I'm in here fast. Yeah, it usually doesn't happen that fast for me. But I'm totally game for, you know, speeding up our game.
Can you think of anything that might might be helpful that that was working, or that, you know, to practice? Or
To practice.
well, I think for me, it's like I can't, the there has to be somebody there, and I have to know that, you know, this is it always has to be like that.
Yeah, I think that's how the mirror gazing is going to help me out. When I don't have another person, when I don't have access to you, I have no access to anybody else that can do this with me. The mirror will. And I just start talking to myself in the mirror. And so I'm my other person mirrored back to me. And we can do it that way. It very definitely helped when I did it last night. And I'm going to do it now just after we complete here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to post in the mirror gazing thread my talking with myself in the mirror. And then if it gets to be something more substantial, I will start a new thread for channeling and using that as one of the ways I'm beginning to open the vocal channel, and we can put our videos there. Do you want to share these? Like if I cut and paste from some and sort of compile them into something, or you open to it being uploaded
Yeah,
to YouTube,
yeah,
and
yeah, that's
other
fine.
people
I'll,
can see
I'll,
the process.
it'll
It's
be more interesting than
helpful.
all the stuff. Yeah,
People don't
yeah,
know how to begin, and reading a
yeah,
book is one thing, but watching people actually doing it is a whole nother,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because then you start to not feel, you get ideas for, okay, yeah, I'm going to sit in front of the mirror, you know, and I'm going to try that, you know. And reading, doing it in front of a mirror in a book, it's not going to have the same effect.
It doesn't unless you're practicing, and yeah, that's what, for
Seeing
me.
people do it live, you know, does something. Yeah,
It
because
does.
you can see
Yeah,
the energies, you can feel the energies, and you can see where it can get to. You know, you're ahead of where I am, you know, in the process, and you know, they can see, you know, you have to start there where that dork is starting, and then you get over there. they, can, they can see that, you know, if they keep going, they're going to get somewhere with it. You know, it's okay to be the dork at first.